All right. Since they love to call me explainer in chief, I love to explain what it is that they're doing because again, like I said, they think nobody's going to believe. But but I know that there are people out there who are trying to understand what's going on, and I got to play my part and do my part, and this is my part. All right. So yeah. As I say, as I was saying, right, with my nephew, so he doesn't listen. At 4 years old, he does not listen. And when I speak to him, sometimes I got to raise my voice. He'll listen, but then they'll come in and they'll call him and be like, I'm like, no, don't call him. Okay, he needs to learn how to listen. When he gets older, it's going to get even worse. But these women, you can't tell them nothing because you know why? They figure because they got nursing degree and psychology degree that they, that they know it, right? They know everything, right? But then you look within their own lives, their own family, it's all screwed up. So how's your psychology degree helping you? I understand you're pretty good at your job. You can go to your job and you can excel. You can diagnose patients. You can treat patients. You can, give, diagnoses. But when it comes to applying what you've learned to better your own life and your own mind, and to better your family and your children's life and their mindset, it's non-existent. Non-existent. They have, it doesn't even cross them. And how do I know? Because I experienced this. I'm not saying that's everybody, right? Remember now, I was talking about this. Men don't, I talk about my anecdotal experience, but I know it's not, my situation is not the norm, right? And the vast majority of people are not going through what I go through, That's different how women think. Women make their anecdotal experiences as if it's the norm, right? And it's not. And I keep saying that over and over again. And I'll tell them that it is not the norm. Your experience is not the norm. Do you know how many people there are in America? Do you know how many black people there are in America? How many white people? How many Asian people? How many Hispanic people? Do you know how many? Right? And so, that the concept of reality sometimes bypass their mind when it comes to a lot of things. Yes, they'll tell you, well, I'm living in the real world. Yeah, you're living in the real world, right? But are you functioning under the laws of reality? Meaning that, are you seeing things for what it is and not what you want it to be? Right? Because every time it's like, well, in my head, I believe. It's in my head. I believe. That's the two things. In my head, and I believe. You never hear them say, "I know." It's factual. Because when you bring up facts, they don't want to hear it. So anyway, yeah. So he doesn't listen, right? And that's my experience growing up is again different. Having to very young, my brother and I having to take care of our nieces and nephews as young as 8, 9, right? 7, 8, 9. We were taking care of my nieces and nephews at times, right? Yeah, there are times when we can go out and we can have our own fun, but a lot of the times we were taking care of our nieces and nephews. So we grew up in an environment where from young we knew how to take care of children. Okay? Unlike some of these women today, within the past 2 decades, having children has become an accessory. When children are young, it's the attention that they get. But as these children move past the age of 4 and 5, and now they're in school, now they don't want to even be nurturing parenting. Why? Because now the attention has to go to the child. Now the child requires more. Okay? And they don't like that because it takes the attention off of them. So that is a huge problem within the black community. And this is why, like I said, they will put their children through the worst situation, because of their feelings. All right? And you just go read the statistics. right? The vast majority of children who live with, particularly with single mothers of the head of the household, you know, they live in poverty, right? And when women say, "Well, I decided to be a single mom," these are women who, you know, make more than average women, particularly average black women. Okay, these are women who are pretty well off themselves. They're in the, and these are just a small percentage of women, right? But when they're saying that, they're saying that to the vast. They don't understand that the vast majority of black women are listening. The vast majority of black women are not in the position that they are, financially nor socially. You know. So it's like, you know, when it comes to that reality that they don't want to recognize and admit, and so they live in delusion. Just like, and the main part, again, a big part of it is their social conditioning, and the conditioning through religion, right? Because they always talk about season, when my season come, and this and that, you know, and it's like, that's bullshit. You know, it's like your season. Where they get that shit from? It's from the churches, from the black churches. Well, I'll tell you something. It's always the pastor's season because he's the one driving the nice fancy cars and wearing expensive clothes and living in a nice house or a mansion. You know what I'm saying? Well, you keep telling you when your season comes. How many seasons you've been waiting? You know? Take that money you give to your pastor, put it in a savings account. Okay? And when you get to a couple $1,000 invested, you know, so they're giving it to your pastor because your pastor is investing in himself. He's not investing in the community. If you hit rock bottom, you can't go to him and say, "Hey, pastor, can you pay my rent for the next 2 months?" He'll tell you to go pray, right? He'll tell you to go pray. They always send these women with these big asses. Look, he's sticking his tongue out. What I said, perfect example. Everybody find these women with these big behinds. There's some dude behind us shaking, sticking his tongue out. Hilarious. Anyhow, right? As I was saying, before I got distracted by the big booty. You know, and just look at the hand signals. Rewind this and go look at the hand signals and look at the facial expressions. You know, so it's like, yeah, I mean, we don't even understand that we are at war amongst ourselves, within ourselves, and within each other, and at each other. I should say, not within each other, but within ourselves and at each other. And it is a conditioned state. Okay, it's not no God, nothing like that. And the sad part about it too, a lot of black people believe that it's God's will that black people are in the condition that we are in, the condition that we're in as a people. All right, we worship everybody else's religion. Every group of people who have enslaved us, who have oppressed us, we worship their God, while ignoring our history, our spiritual system, which is not based off of a God, but it's based off of the principles that are natural within you and nature itself. Okay? All right, so, you know, and not to say that we didn't believe in the afterlife, because we did. We're the first people who believe in an afterlife. This is where the netter, remember I said the netter, not the god, Asa, otherwise known as Osiris, right? The netter, meaning death is a natural aspect of life. And because we are energy, when we die, our energy moves on. Energy doesn't die, it just moves on. Okay? Energy transfer itself. Okay? And it'll take on many forms. So our ancestors know this. You know, the core concept of the afterlife is not something that came from Christianity or Islam. There were many other spiritual systems that were around way before Christianity or Islam, way before. Okay, but when you don't know history, again, you are ignorant to these things. So, you know, you know what I'm saying? You think that that's where that came from. No, it doesn't. It doesn't come from that. You know, we're in the age of information. If you choose to remain ignorant, that's on you. Okay? There's so many things that we know. You know, so many of these different so-called holy books that were taken out of, that was not included in the Bible that many Christians use today. Go and read some of those. Okay? Not to say that shit is real, but go and read some of it. You might have a difference of opinion in terms of, what you think you believe, right? Because you know the truth. You know, here's a couple books. Here's a couple of Bible books that were left out, right? So, the book of Adam and Eve, book 1 and 2. And again, this is for black people. White people, you guys can read it too. Asian people, yeah, read it too if you're a Christian, what have you. But specifically for black people, go and read that. Particularly, I think it's book 2, in which you start to see the racism towards black women. Right? You'll if you read it, you'll understand what I'm talking about. Okay? Just as you had the curse of Ham, right? You also have black women being demonized, right? In the form of the devil or Satan, right? So go and read that book. Then go and read the Gospel of Judas Icarius. Judas, the one who snitch on Jesus, the New York Credit Department, right? For what is it? How many pieces of silver? I don't remember the exact number. But go and read because Jesus told him, he said, "I know you will betray me." Go and read the Gospel of Judas Icarius, which speaks about the time that Judas spent with Jesus before he betrayed him. And Jesus, he was the only one, right? The person that betrayed Jesus was the only one that Jesus gave the secret of the cosmic luminary, or what do you call luminaries, right? Different heavens, different dimensions, right? And he talks about the God of this world, this Jehovah, and how he's of no relation to this Jehovah. But somehow the Catholics, the Romans, said that Jesus was the Son of God. But in that gospel, Jesus said, I have no relation to this God of this world. This God of this world is mad. Jesus really said that the God of this world is mad. He's a madman. A mad God, I should say. A crazy God. Right? I guess that's how some of y'all religious people behave anyway. Like y'all damn crazy. Right? But go on and read that. Then go and read the Gospel of Thomas. And again, this is for black people specifically. Black Christians. Or I will call nigger Christians. Go and read the Gospel of Thomas. Okay? In which Jesus said to his disciples, because his disciples did not want Mary Magdalene around, because she would be following the disciples. And one of the disciples asked Jesus, why don't we send Mary away? She does not belong with us. And Jesus says, no, leave her, let her be. And he said, for I will make women, I will make them like men, so that they can enter into the kingdom of heaven. And I was serious. When I first read this, I was like, holy shit. I said, which group of women today act like men? Which group of women today are very masculine more than they are feminine? And again, not all, right? But a lot of them, more so than any other group of women, Asian women, white women, Hispanic women, Arab women. Which group of women today behave and act like men, call each other the N-word, grabbing each other grabbing their crotches, you know. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, go and read those two gospels, man. Go and read that shit. It's like, it's an eye opener. All right. You know, it's in what is called the Gnostic Gospels, the Gnostic Gospels. All right. If you can't find a Gnostic Gospel with those two gospel in there, you can find them online by themselves. Okay. All right. Talk to you guys in the next video.